Native Americans understand that we're all one people on the earth.
Yeah,
and,
they have that. The Lakota have the word or the saying "Matakwi Oyasin," which means I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Do it one more time.
Matakwi Oyasin, and that means loose. There's no real literal translation, but it means we're all related. All my relations.
All my relations.
Literally, what it means is everybody or everything that breathes this air that we're all breathing right now is related.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that's given by sort of the creator, and it goes beyond any sort of boundaries that we may create as human beings.
That's right.
So I mean, there are a lot of Native Americans who don't like white people, just to put it bluntly.
Right.
And who's to blame them? But there are a lot who really understand the ways, who care for the people. They believe we're human beings, And as far as spirituality and religion goes, they respect all religions. But ultimately, bottom line, the true religion of people, according to Lakota, is the religion of being a human being spiritual in the way that human beings are spiritual.
Right.
And that's, whatever it is to you.
Right. Right. And interestingly enough, as we were driving over here this morning, we both realized we were doing Thanksgiving rituals on Loyola Beach at the same time on the new moon on Thursday morning. We were both involved in different but similarly Thanksgiving new moon rituals.
Yeah.
Which is great. And I've sort of made it a point for years to keep track of the moons and, let my students who, wherever they come from to this are generally very accepting. If I just put it on their calendar, this is a new moon. It's a good day to start things. This is the full moon, just to experience that the cycles are part of who we are, and turning in those cycles and being aware of them is a thing to do. But and then we've got the reality that the native peoples of this land are, some of the most destitute in terms of their situation.
Yeah.
And in need of all kind of help that, one, they don't necessarily make a big noise about. At least we don't hear of it in this part of the country. Although I know when I spent about a month in Crestone, Colorado, in a monastery a couple of years ago, I was listening to the local NPR affiliate, and they were full of news about the res down in the Navajo reservation and what was going on there, there was civil disobedience happening there at the time. This was 2 years ago. No one in Chicago knew this story when I came back. And it was about land grants and, the power companies coming in to wanting yet again to push them over and go for uranium mining in that area, and stuff that some people may assume is already taken care of or solved. And it's not, nor is the level of poverty and lack of services to these outlying communities who have been, pushed out there. In the 200 plus years of our history as a nation. Not a proud thing for us.
No, it isn't. No.
So and particularly when they've got, nature to contend with, if you're in South Dakota.
It's tough, yeah. Extremes is, sometimes I'll call my friend Ed in the summer and ask him what's going on. He says, well, it's about 117 degrees out right now. Or call them in the winter. So we had about 20 inches of snow last night. The power's out, so I'm just sitting by the oven reading a book. By the light from the window. You got about a 2 mile dirt road up to the main road, so he can't get out. And he's these things are pretty normal. But you got to think too, I guess, what causes them to be in this situation. It's easy to think, well, why don't they get out of it? But the thing about the Lakotas is considered a nation within a nation. They're a nation within our nation, the United States. So they are independent to a certain degree. But as far as the treaties, they've had a lot of treaties with the United States government, and those treaties have been continuously violated from the get-go. They had, like, take the Black Hills. The Black Hills area is a very sacred area to the Lakota. It's one of their 7 sacred sites. And originally, the United States government let them have that area, but then when they found gold in that area, they took it from them, violated the treaty. The treaties today, too, they just recently, maybe 20 years ago, started allowing the Lakota people to practice their rituals again.
Right.
Things like sun dances and certain types of healings that they do and whatnot were basically outlawed by treaty. So a lot of these some of their more powerful things as a people were just taken from them. They weren't allowed to do them. They just started again, and so they're starting a little bit of a resurgence in who they are, but it's against constant opposition from basically the United States government. They have really no opportunity for work. The treaties also are set up as such that no industry can really start on the reservation, so it's hard for them to even start anything. As far as jobs go, there's a handful of jobs to be had from the government with agencies and whatnot, but to work, they would have to drive to Rapid City, which is 2 hours away. And a lot of these people don't even have cars, or don't have a car that would get them there. So they really are at a severe disadvantage economically, which is one of the reasons that, we feel like this coat drive is important, and the toy drive, just to bring a little bit of something to them.